I lost most of my money, in fact, all of my money in 2021 and 2022 when I made 950K on the absolute pump in 2020 and 2021. But I lost it all because I didn't understand exit strategies. The crypto market game operates in cycles. E.g., we're in a bull run right now, and then it's often followed by bear markets. Securing profits, you can build stable capital to reinvest when prices are going lower. That's all cryptocurrency is in a nutshell. Goals are very, very boring, but they will save you so much money. And I wish I had this in 2021, because if I did, it would have saved me, and I'd be a lot richer today if I just had this. If you want to do some phenomenal things that we are anticipating in this bull run, this video is going to be for you. Now, I'm going to show you my exact exit plan for this bull run, but I want to share a strategy as well on how you can maximize returns that I don't really see a lot of people talking about. So let's break that down. By the way, the markets are a little bit tough at the time of recording, but you do get what you pay for, if that makes sense. So here's the problem that most people have, especially if you got in kind of January, February time, right? You kind of got in that kind of peaks, 107K Bitcoin, or maybe you've been an investor for a while and you're just, working your jobs, you're struggling super, super hard, right? A lot of people come in cryptocurrency with $1,000 to $5,000. And by the way, that is way better than you think. I know you get pissed off at other people talking about $1 million portfolios, 500K portfolios, but I'll just give you some facts. The average American couldn't even pay for $1,000 emergency, right? Because they're living paycheck to paycheck. So if even you've got the 4 figures in, you're doing fucking phenomenal. And I'm going to show you a strategy on how you can make this work super, super well for you. But just remember, the average person is so far behind you, let alone even thinking about investing in cryptocurrency. So don't get pissed off if this is you, but obviously we have to start somewhere. And you might think, oh, I'll never make it. It's too late, because you're coming into the game, especially at this point in the cycle, with 1 to 5K. Now, it can feel annoying and you aren't going to get the returns you want, right? And obviously we can't invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum if your goals are to do super, super well. Now, real quick before we move on, if you have 3-figure portfolio, $999 or less, or $1,000 or less, should I say, then I have a problem with that, because you can do better than that, especially if you're over the age of 25. Now, if you're 20, 22, 23, it's not an exception. Get at least 4 figures in the game. And I want to show you something in this video, how you can still play catch up, and then I'll talk about my exit strategy, because a lot of people are having exit strategies now because they think the bear market's in, and I just think that is playing the game so backwards, in my opinion. And it's going to, do not much risk on what you're doing, because this shit is fucking annoying. I found this tweet the other day on Ash Crypto, and it talks about this billionaire, Ricardo Salins in Mexico, has $5.8 billion. So he's obviously played the business world very super well, and he's invested 70% of his income, so about $3 billion. Now, he can get away with just buying Bitcoin. I wish that was the case for all of us. Now, I hold some Bitcoin, but obviously I've came in with 6 figures in Bitcoin. But regardless of this can piss you off, but I don't want this to put you on a sidetrack, because again, if you're one of the guys, I have $1,000 and you're trying to do a 10x on Bitcoin in this bull cycle, you might look at this and just think you can buy Bitcoin, but I promise you, you will hold it all the way down. Now, again, real quick before I give you the strategy and talk about my exit plan going forward, this rainbow chart is very, very, very true to itself. You could pretty much follow this rainbow chart in every single cycle, and I wish I had this in the previous cycle, because I would have took profits a lot earlier and I would have been way richer than I am today. Now, again, if you believe we peak in 2025, kind of Q3 to Q4, stick around for this video. If you don't think this bull market is going to kick off again and you think the peaks were in January, you should probably leave cryptocurrency, sell all your portfolio, and stop watching crypto videos, because then it just is an unhealthy addiction. I don't know why you're watching videos like this. Now, again, regardless how emotionally challenged the markets can be right now, which is very, very challenging, you can see, and I've shared this many, many times, we're in this kind of hodl still cheap mentality. So again, this is why I believe, along with many other things we're going to talk about in this video, why we haven't reached peak prices. If you look at 2013's run, we peaked in the red, maximum bubble territory. The 2017 run, we peaked at red. The 2021 run, we actually peaked in red twice. Although we have went up massively since the 22 and 23 accumulation phase and bear market, we still haven't came anywhere close. So in my opinion, this is just another thing that we can look at just to keep us in mind, because again, a lot of us are panicking. But this is the time where you look at charts like this, if in doubt, zoom out, and you start to reconsider, maybe you're thinking about selling, maybe it's not a good time to invest in cryptocurrency. I look at this and I just feel way more at ease when I open up my coin market cap and I check my portfolio and I'm down on 100 grand since last night. I look at this and it keeps me on path, because I forget, when you're in this market, it's very, very challenging on short-term volatility. Now, again, here's how you make an F ton of money this bull run. I'm going to give you some examples. Remember, this is just my examples. Do not take this to the bank. You have to take your own, non-financial advice and play this game yourself. This is just what I like to share on my channel going forward, and it's a strategy I'm going to do, and I wish I had this in 2021. And hopefully this will make you completely change your life by 2025. And just real quick, before we get into this and before we get some FOMO and think you're going to pull this off, number one, you're not going to pull this off exactly. Number two, you don't have to pull it off exactly. Number three is you can come in future bull runs and take the lesson you've learned, even if you don't make as much money as you think you're going to make, take those lessons and scars to the next bull run, because that's what I did in 2021, and that's why I'm here in 2025. So I stole this from Secret Cycles of Crypto, and I always share his account because he kind of gave up in cryptocurrency, or especially posting content on Twitter. And what he talks about is you have your portfolio bags, right? And here's an example. Maybe you have some Ethereum, maybe you have some Brett, Caspa, Beam, XRP, right? You have your examples. If that's 8 to 15, if it's 10 to 20, anything more than 20, especially in the kind of four figures, in my opinion, there's way too many coins, right? There's just way too much, going on. And really what he talks about is one of your, coins start to go. We're going to talk about Caspa, a Caspa example. If your altcoin pumps, now he obviously says that you sell it to Bitcoin. I kind of ignore that strategy in my opinion. What I like to talk about is you can buy an unpumped altcoin with no risk, maximum reward, or you could also bank some cash. So here's an example in Caspa. Let's say you bought Caspa back in 23, kind of mid-time in June, April. It was at 2 cents, right? So you believed in Caspa, you've done the research, obviously that's super, super important, right? And you read Caspa up to 20 cents, okay? So you got a 10x, right? Now there's two things you could do, or there's really three things you could do. Number one, you could still be holding on, which again is, I don't think, a bad strategy, but in my opinion, it's always way better to realize some profits, which would be number two. You can bank the profits, and take it to the bank account, and then you can maybe look at investing in something else. Or option number three is what we're really talking about in this video, is you can do this rollover strategy that the Secret Cycles of Crypto does on his Twitter page. What does that look like? So like, e.g., if you have 5K at the 2 cents levels, you sold at 20 cents for a 10x, you now have $50,000. Congratulations. So what do? Most people do two things, like I said. They bank the 50K, or they keep holding and play this for the 100x. Now, again, this is not a bad strategy. I still think Caspa is going to beat this 20 cents in this bull run. But wouldn't you rather have a strategy where you can compound gains at literally no risk and all the rewards? So what you want to do, just an example, don't take this to the bank, e.g., literally, you bank 25K, and then you can roll over that 25K, or certain levels, maybe you don't want to roll over as much, maybe you want to bank a lot, because, if you make 50K a year in your job and you just made 50K on Caspa in a short amount of time in one trade, it might be a good idea to bank more, because you can kind of chill out and you can take that less stress of the 9 to 5 job that you maybe have. Now, why this is good is because you cannot lose at this point. You still get to play the game of cryptocurrency regarding what point of the cycle we're in. Now, to clarify, if you think it is over at this point, e.g. the bull market's over, like a lot of people are saying, you shouldn't roll over to anything. You should just, cash out and go back into the job, or maybe you pay off your job and maybe you can just, work on the side, etc., doing something else, and wait for the next bull run. Because here's how this looks. Maybe you take 25K, you roll that over into 3 to 4 coins. I don't think you should roll that over into other coins, because again, you just got way too many coins, right? You bank some, you can't find opportunities. Again, you do not chase. You let this market come to you. You do not chase the market, okay? It rewards us that finds the opportunities. So again, you wouldn't roll over to other coins I've already ran. So here's a perfect example, right? You find coins in Caspa's price appreciation. So again, real quick, again, these are not plug outs. You can look at any single coin. It's just an easy example to show you this. Altara, you could roll over. It's a very small market cap, right? So e.g., you roll over some of that, 8 grand, 8 grand, and 8 grand, and maybe you put 8 grand in Altara, right? As long as it hasn't run. Remember, we're looking at future runs. We're not looking at the previous data so far, but ideally you do some research, and then you could take the other 8K, a bigger market cap like Ondo. I think Ondo's going to do super, super well. It's obviously backed by BlackRock, and it hasn't had the absolute capitulation that most altcoins have had, because I think, as we know, it is a strong project. And then you go at Veracity. This is another moonshot play that I've got. A very low market cap, but we've seen what it did in 2021. The whole point is you've done research in your own coins, and you've already took the initial profit from that Caspa trade, and now you start to bank some other assets that haven't moved yet, or hasn't moved as much as Caspa. Okay, that's the whole point of their strategy. Now again, these are now your babies, so Caspa's gone, and you've added these 3 new things, right? So you've added this to your portfolio, and while this is happening, maybe Beams went, maybe XRP that recently just did a 6x, maybe that has started to went, you want to take some profits. Again, the goal here is not to marry our bags. The goal here is to rinse and repeat them and not fall in love with Caspa. I can tell you so many times that I fell in love with H-bar, like it was my wife, that I was going to ride it to $2 to $4 in the last bull run, and that got me wrecked. I fell in love with Bitcoin, and I thought it was going to go to 100K, I fell in love with it. It didn't hit 100K. I fell in love with Ethereum with the $10,000 mark. Guess what? It didn't happen. I could have rolled over those profits, understand the stuff that we're going to talk about later on in this video, and I would be sitting with a huge portfolio right now. And guess what? I am in. And I share that to you guys because I'm real with you. I lost most of my money. In fact, all of my money in 2021 and 2022 when I made 950K on the absolute pump in 2020 and 2021. But I lost it all because I didn't understand exit strategies and how to take profits. So here's why taking profits is the most important thing we can do. It's very easy to click the buy button. It's very difficult to click the sell button, at least for me, okay? So taking profits during a crypto bull market is the most important thing you can do while playing this crypto game, right? I did everything right in 2020 and 2021. I bought the coins, I had a good income. I built a diversified portfolio, although I had some speculative bets, and that was absolutely fine. I bought good coins, good prices. I didn't panic when we had 25% dumps along the way like we're having right now. Didn't panic, right? I went in harder because I want to take full advantage of cryptocurrency. And hopefully you're doing that right now. Or again, you close the laptop down, bull market's over, and you go and do whatever you want for the next cycle. But my biggest downfall was I didn't sell at the most important times. Peak euphoria cycle, and I had to lose everything to understand how important this was. I was too busy chasing more, and I promise you, chasing peak prices of Bitcoin 100K in the last bull run. A lot of people are now chasing Bitcoin of 200K, 300K, 400K this bull run. People chasing Ethereum 10K in the last bull, and now people are chasing Ethereum at 10, 15K in this bull run. Let's let Ethereum break its all-time high of 2021 first. HBAR in the last bull run, $1 to $2. I think HBAR is going to hit $1 this bull run. But again, I'm going to be taking my profits out aggressively before that at about the 65, 85 cents. And I'll leave a little moon bag going forward because again, I don't want to waste 4 years of my life. The money is important, but the time and effort that you put in to invest in cryptocurrency while seeing it go all the way up hurts way more than, just paper money going up until it doesn't go up anymore. So again, I forgot just how far we had came in the cryptocurrency cycle. So what you want to do is, number one, you want to lock in gains. Crypto markets are volatile and prices can drop just as fast as they rise, right? E.g. in 2021/2022, the bear market came in so fast, nobody expected it. People there just think it was another dip, and the dip was the dip that never stopped dipping, and it was absolute game over. You want to avoid greed and market euphoria. In a bull market, many investors get caught in FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? We all felt that in January with Donald Trump's coin and his wife's coin, Melania. And guess what happened? Those coins went down 90%. And they hold on to assets hoping for even higher prices. However, market cycles and corrections, they will happen. Taking profit disciplines you to your own strategy. Number three is you want to protect against market cycles. The crypto market game operates in cycles. E.g., we're in a bull run right now, and then it's often followed by bear markets. Securing profits, you can build stable capital to reinvest when prices are going lower. That's all cryptocurrency is in a nutshell. You take profits, you do it again. Super, super simple. And it doesn't matter if you have to buy the same coin. You might have other coins. There's always new coins launching. You don't have to buy back the same coin. Very, very important. Number four is rebalancing your portfolio. If one asset have significantly increased in value, taking profits allows you to diversify in other assets. E.g., what we just talked about with Caspa, rolling it over to Atora, Veracity, or Ondo, or whatever other little shiny altcoins you've done the research on and you want to go into. Number five is having capital for future opportunities. While the market eventually corrects, you'll have cash or stable coins ready to buy back at lower prices, maximizing long-term gains. E.g., a lot of us right now, we're cash poor. When prices are so cheap from 2 months ago, e.g., we can buy back way more coins for the dollar value to sell in 2025. It's all about how many coins you can do, not the dollar value today. We're interested in dollar value by 2025. We're not interested in the dollar value today. The best practices you can use for the bull market is use a profit-taking strategy, e.g. 25%, at a certain percent on how much the coin rises. Take your profits. Diversify in other assets, stable coins, blue chip crypto, or even traditional assets, right? Cryptocurrency, stocks, real estate, high savings interest account in your bank, they're all absolutely fine. And you don't want to try and time the absolute top. Taking profits gradually is much better than waiting too long. So this is what's happening right now. This is the fear and greed. In 2021 in May, we got to fear and greed 94, 95. And then obviously we had the big dip down to like the 10 levels. Right now we are at 20. Okay, it's very fucking scary. And I'm showing you this because again, in May time, when it obviously went back up to where Bitcoin would hit 69K, that was the best time to buy. Okay, the worst time to buy is when Donald Trump won the election, he started launching these meme coins, and the fear and greed index was at 94. That was the worst time to buy. You lost all your money. So it's all about understanding to ignore your Jeffrey mindset. The fear and greed is a real thing combined with the rainbow chart, and you'll be absolutely fine for this bull market. What we can also do is we can look at the CMC altcoin season index. You just go on CoinMarketCap, and what you can see right now is this is what we're looking at historically. So the Bitcoin season is at 15 to 100, right? In a full-blown alt season, I expect us to be more in the 80s to the 90s, just like the Fear and Greed Index that we just went over before. Once we're in this blue little line going forward, that is probably the time to start taking profits. Right now, in my opinion, it's a good buying opportunity. Yes, we could go lower. That's absolutely fine. And again, if you believe the altcoin season is over, you shouldn't be investing. You should have sold a long time ago, and you go from there. So again, once it starts getting into the blue ranges, it might be a good time to take profits. All right, next. What we can also do, I'm giving you so much value today, guys, is we can look at the Bitcoin dominance, okay? Now, this is very important. A lot of people get this wrong. People look at this as when the Bitcoin dominance starts to drop, e.g. in a full bull market, I would start to take profits when Bitcoin gets to the 45 levels, kind of 40 levels, anything below that, you're really, catching the top of the market. Understand that when Bitcoin dominance drops, that doesn't mean the price of Bitcoin drops. All that means is because there's so many millions and millions of altcoins are starting to have phenomenal runs, as the money starts to roll over and Bitcoin's dominance goes down. Bitcoin's dominance can still go up, but if you understand this, that Bitcoin dominance right now is 61%, we're not going to see an alt season, right? Because people flock to safety, e.g. Bitcoin, and once people start to have some more fun and make some more money, etc., that's when we get the Bitcoin dominance start to drop. E.g. in February 2021, you can see exactly when the bull market started. Binance would pretty much go from like $15 to $30, and it would go all the way up to like $500-600 at peak prices. Solana went from like 50 cents, $1, $2, all the way up to $250. That is what we're looking for. So again, this gives you some other more hopium, your little shot of hopium in this video here, that we aren't anywhere near, because eventually this will start to drop. And what happens when this starts to drop is it starts going down here. Bitcoin still goes up in values, but your Ethereums, your Solanas, your XRPs, your HBARs, your ADAs, etc., they start to have runs. And until that happens, all you need to do right now is, if you've got cash, invest. If you don't have cash, you just sit there and do nothing. Again, as many times I'll tell you in this video, if you think the bull market is over, you should have sold a long time ago. All right, here's another thing you can do, guys. You can look at Coinbase verified users, because people will flock to Coinbase in a bull market, right? So e.g. your mums, your dads, your hairdressers, your girlfriends will all flock to download Coinbase when they think they can make some extra money. And by that time, it's probably too late, because they don't know about DEXs, they don't know about hardware wallets, etc. This is a great top indicator to sell at. You can see here in 2021, this is the Coinbase verified users. I can only track up to 2022, but I'm going to show you their actual assets in a second here. You can see here 2021 and 2022, when the bull market was kind of over, that was signaling the top. E.g. they had more than 100 million verified users. E.g. it was probably a good time to get out. What you can also do is you can look at their assets on the Coinbase platform. You can see in 2021 peak cycle, they had almost $300 billion with Jeffries, everybody, and even institutional investors were on Coinbase. Then obviously what happened was the peak was over and everybody started to sell whatever money they had left over with. And again, Q1 2024, I don't have Q1 2025 yet, but as you can see, we've already broke that. So again, if you want to track something like this, you can just go on Coinbase's website or just type something like this in, and you can see exactly when people start to flock to Coinbase, because once that starts to happen, e.g. the Coinbase app is #1, or the Apple App Store, etc. If Coinbase starts getting to like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's beating apps like fucking Tinder and Bumble, etc., it's probably a good time that we have reached the top of the market. All right, here's something we need to talk about as well. And I know this might be boring for some people, because we're going to talk about goals before we get to my exit strategy. But again, goals are very, very boring, but they will save you so much money. And I wish I had this in 2021, because if I did, it would have saved me. And I'd be a lot richer today if I just had this. So e.g., I always say this, if you have 4 figures to invest in cryptocurrency, e.g. the 1K mark, go for the 5 figures mark, e.g. 1K to 10K. If you have 5 figures, e.g. 10K, go for that next bracket of wealth, 5 figures to 6 figures, e.g. 10K to 100K, 6 figures, 100K to 7 figures, you get the point. The goal here is to multiply our money, what we either have from our job or our savings across the board of this next, cryptocurrency bull run. If you want 6 figures from 4 figures, yes, it's completely possible. It's been done all the time. You could be a pro, you could get lucky on a meme coin, etc. But at that point, if you're brand new, I promise you, you will try and chase the 7 figures and you'll lose all your money. I'll give you a quick example. Here's Jesse, right? Jesse's in our group, etc. And what he did was he put 1.5K into 45K on a coin called Asteria. He pumped it, he dumped it. Not that he was the token founder, etc. But he found a good opportunity. He liked it. He took a bet with 1.5K. And as you can see here, he was up 40K, $40,000 in a single day. So again, he understood what bracket he was playing in, because he already built his main bags first, and you can take some bets. That's a lot better strategy than putting everything on Asteria, e.g. that coin that he read. And what if it didn't play out? You'd have to restart the whole bull run again. Remember, this cycle won't stop. Crypto isn't going anywhere, and we can do this all over again in the future, and that gets me very, very pumped. E.g., the bull market does come in 2025, and why I'm still making videos today, even if you don't hit your perfect exit strategies, etc., you can take the lessons that I had to learn in 2021, and you can take that to the 2029 or 2030 bull run, right? Super, super simple. So most newcomers in cryptocurrency, they get caught up in hype cycles without proper risk management, okay? So here's why so many investors lose money in their first bull run. My mistakes in 2021 were absolute brutal. And again, I share this with you because I'm not some guy that just claims to made all this money. I lost 950K in my first bull run. It fucking sucked. And I say that just to show you that I'm one of you guys, and I'm not like a fake influencer that promises you he makes all the money. We all make mistakes in our first bull run, right? It was a roller coaster of a ride. We went from 100K pretty much invested, I think it was 120K, whatever, to 950K, and it went up so fast, but I lost it all in a couple of months. Okay, it was very, very emotional, and I felt super depressed after that. You've all heard the story, right? I don't want this to be you. That's why I'm sharing with you. So number one, most people buy near the top. New investors tend to jump in, e.g. that Coinbase data that we just went over, right? It was all over the news, all over social media, e.g. what we tracked with the Coinbase users before. That's when most people get in cryptocurrency. They're just trying to take the last $500 and trying to make 50K, and they lose their $500. By the time they buy, smart money, e.g. us, whales, institutionals, experienced traders, we're already selling. Number two is the lack risk management. Many go all in a single asset instead of focusing on diversification. They don't take profits along the way. Then they try and use leverage, which is the real kicker, because they want to play catch up, and this wrecks them even further. Number three is emotional trading. People FOMO in at the peak and panic sell during corrections. They don't have a strategy and they make impulse decisions. Okay, that's what cryptocurrency will fuck with your minds, but you must be able to control that little Jeffrey mindset. Number four is they don't understand market cycles. E.g. me, crypto moves in a 4-year cycle. You've got bull, bear, and accumulation and expansion phases. If you understand that, along with other stuff we've already talked about and some other stuff we're going to talk about in a second, you will make all the money in the world, even if you're just starting with a low portfolio, because you can take this over to the next bull run. First timers don't recognize when a cycle is shifting. Number five is they hold too long, thinking it'll go up forever. E.g. me, Bitcoin 100K, Ethereum 10K, HBAR has to hit $1 to $2, guys. Well, no, it doesn't, and that's what got me wrecked. Many refuse to take profits, expecting higher gains. When the market crashes, they're left holding the bags. And here's the thing, most people in cryptocurrency, they actually make money on paper. All they have to do is have a plan and sell, and they'll be absolutely fine, because many people don't realize this until it's too late. Number six is lack of patience. This is you right now that are panicking in the market, that thinking the bear market is in. I promise you, it's not. They don't want to wait for good entry points and buy the hype. They sell too early to fear and get shaken out by volatility. The ones who survive and learn from their mistakes usually do so much better in this cycle. So here's my plan going forward. Bitcoin is at currently 90K. By the time we post it, it might be 85, might be 80, it might be 100K, whatever, right? I truly believe Bitcoin's going to hit 125 to 175K, and that's where I'm kind of done. I'm looking at altcoins, what to sell, what to move over, etc. You can also look at the USD dominance, which I think is another crucial part. Again, just like Bitcoin dominance, it works a little bit different. USD dominance is going up right now. If we want a bull market, e.g. 2021, what happened was USD dominance started to go down. So again, my levels here are 3.5%, 3.2%, and potentially bottoms 2.51%. Again, we're nowhere near that, because guess what? The USD dominance is going up because Bitcoin and most cryptocurrencies are getting wrecked. Number two is Ethereum. Ethereum's very, very important for this bull run. Once this bull run, or once this coin starts to move, e.g. it needs to start behaving, because Ethereum hasn't even broken its 2021 bull run, all-time high, which is 4.9K. When we get this to 4.9K, which I still think we do, we got to like 4K, and obviously everything started to dump. Once we get back to that levels, I am going to be glued to my screen. There's probably not going to be as many crypto videos for me, because I am going to be glued to this and looking where to rotate some of my Ethereum bags, Bitcoin bags, and other altcoins going forwards. But once we get there, that brings a lot of confidence in. Just like when Solana hit $250, $300 recently, most Solana ecosystem coins, gaming coins, etc., really started to move. So we need Ethereum to hit this 4.9K. Not tomorrow, but we need it to start going up very, very soon, because if we don't get there, yeah, the bull market will be over. So again, trading view, Ethereum, you can see, which is very, very important. I'm going to share another strategy. Ethereum started to peak at May 2021. It was skiffing about $4,000, okay? Let's say you had some Ethereum super early and you made like $50,000, right? So again, just like we talked about with Otara, VRA, and Ondo, this is the same kind of strategy I'm going to give you. So if Ethereum starts to go up high, you got in super early, I got in Ethereum about $400, etc. So that would be a 10x. What I wish I had done is I started to look at other coins that haven't moved, e.g. Axie Infinity. You could have bought Axie Infinity at about $3 in May, right? And what that would have done for you, if you put, the 50K, you roll over some of the money, you bank some profits, like we talked about before, Let's say you bought Axie Infinity at $3. You've done the research. You knew the game was going to be hot. Again, this is not to tell you to buy Axie Infinity for this bull run. Transparency, I don't have any Axie Infinity in this bull run. Don't know if it's going to do well. Not interested. Gaming hasn't really popped off yet. You put that $10,000 that you made for free, because remember, you just made 50 off Ethereum, you banked 25 or whatever. If you sold at the peaks, now you're not going to be able to do this, but if you just sold at the peaks, you would have made $500,000. If you sold at 100, conservatively, you would have made 300 grand. Even if you sold at 40, you would have still made 6 figures with 10K of free money. What you could have also done, Crypto.com back in May, when Ethereum hit that 4K, was very, very cheap. E.g., if we go back, Crow was sitting at 8 cents, 10x since the peak. So how that would look in a transparency way is you buy at 0.08, pretty much when Ethereum was hitting that May kind of price. You put the $10,000 of free that you just got from Ethereum trade, you got the Axie Infinity trade, plus you backed 25K. So again, you cannot lose because you've made all the money. If you sold at 90 cents, which wasn't even the peak, there's another 6 figures. Even if you just sold at 45 cents, there is another extra $40,000 from your 10K initial investment. And that's how you make so much money from a small investor. Now, as many times as you do this, you got to be very careful. As long as you're still banking profits, e.g. if you sold at 90 cents here and you took 50K out of this, and then you can, never lose money again. That's so, so important. But a lot of people get this very, very wrong. So here's my portfolio now. And again, going back to 2021, because this is the kind of kicker of this video, the lessons and mistakes I made. I was kind of fucked regardless if it went up to like 2, 3, 4 million. My first goal was to hit $1 million. But here's the kicker, and I'll tell you this honestly, I wouldn't have sold at $1 million because I would have wanted 2. I would have wanted 3. So it really didn't matter if the bull run was still going. Even today for 2021, I would have still not sold because it's my first cycle, and you have to lose money. Hopefully it's not $1 million like me. Hopefully it's way less. Hopefully it's like 400, 500 bucks or 4 grand, 5 grand, whatever your starting levels are. But you have to lose money to experience the mistakes, okay? You don't go to the gym and everything's perfect. You struggle, maybe you tear a muscle, etc., etc. But the point is, until you learn not to do that and make that mistake again, you're never going to learn from it. So again, you don't have to lose money, but I think it's very important at some point to lose a little bit of money, and you will lose a little bit of money, okay? It's not possible to cash out everything perfectly. It doesn't work like that. So that was my biggest lesson that I wish I could give to you guys today, and that's really what I'm trying to do. Another thing is the sad reality. This is what I want to go kind of deep on in a second. The sad reality of today's world, boys, is we need to change our mind on how we approach cryptocurrency. Remember, cryptocurrency should be used as a vehicle for building wealth. Do not let the vehicle control you. The 9 to 5 is often seen as safe and responsible path. That's what my mum and dad told me to do. They want me to get a safe job, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're starting out. But as you progress through the years, you realize inflation, you're losing money, your raises aren't keeping up with inflation, and you start to live paycheck to paycheck. Many full-time workers are caught in a financial trap that keeps them in a cycle of debt, overspending, and economy dependency. And let's break down why. Number one, again, this is very sad to say this, but I'm bringing you this as a wake-up call for this cryptocurrency bull run. Number one, the debt cycle. Working to pay bills, not to build wealth. Many 9 to 5 workers are drowning in debt, and their paychecks are often gone before they even arrive. How many people are like that right now? Drop in the comments. Again, it's not disrespect. It's to say, okay, I realize this. I'm going to try and change this. A lot of people just blame circumstances. Until you let that go, you're never, ever going to make it. The main culprits right now are student loans, especially in the USA. Many workers take their own tens or sometimes $100,000 in debt just to qualify for a piece of paper that pays them barely enough to live. I would call that a scam, in my opinion, because you don't need that unless you want to be a doctor. You get the point. But chances are you're probably not a doctor watching cryptocurrency videos. And if you are, congratulations, you're probably making a lot. Car loans, new cars depreciate fast, but workers finance them with high monthly payments, adding another burden. Stop keeping up with the Jonases. Nobody cares. Drive that beater. Nobody cares if you've got a brand new Mercedes. Nobody cares, because I promise you'll probably finance out your tits. And if you took that money for the Mercedes, whatever, right, you could do a lot more damage and buy that cash in cryptocurrency if you know how to play the game and what we just talked about before. Credit card debt is a big one. When paychecks don't stretch far enough, credit cards become a lifeline, but interest rates are brutal. You are being scammed with high interest rates on your money. Mortgages and rents, really mortgages, rent, you have to live somewhere. But if your cost of housing keeps rising, forcing many into these 30-year mortgages, which is fine, right? Back in the days when your dad could buy a house for like 20, 30K, it used to work there. But if you're trying to get in the real estate game and just pay off your mortgage, probably don't have much left. And there's a lot of headaches with that as well. You don't need to be house poor. Live cheap, live below your means. The reality check here is a medium worker is usually one paycheck away from financial disaster. Most people in America, they have $1,000 or they have not even $1,000, and if an emergency comes up, they can't pay it, and then they have to go down the credit card, and that's a spiral wheel of death, overdrafts, etc., etc. Lifestyle inflation, earning more, spending more. This happened to me. This watch was a very stupid purchase, but again, bought it cash, didn't finance it, etc. I almost just bought a Lambo when I came to the UK. I actually bought a BMW M4. It's kind of nice, it's kind of maxed out, but it was very very cheap. It was cheap enough for me, at least. So I bought that cash. I'm not, here to, put money down on the cars, although it can be good. But again, I had to really look at myself in the mirror, and I was like, okay, well, I could take this Lamborghini money and flex on people, although I really don't care about that anymore. I thought I did, but I don't care about that anymore. And I put the leftover money in cryptocurrency. I bought 20k worth of Solana. 2 days it was at 10k. The week before that was like another 10k. So I started to put that money in coins, right? Because I realized maybe I want the Lambo one day, but I probably don't. But even though I could put that money in a bull run and make way more, then I can buy the Lambo and buy 10 of them if I really want. So as income increases, expenses rise just as fast. It happens so fast, right? If you make $1 million a year, okay, from your job or your business, etc., but you spend $1 million, the guy making 50k, and this sounds so easy, but nobody understands this. The guy making 50k, but he spends 30k is richer than the guy making $1 million. Many workers, they buy nice cars, they buy stupid, stuff as well. And again, just get that beater car. They upgrade their lifestyle, bigger homes, bigger gadgets. They try to do all these things to keep up with the Jonases, save it for later. Trying to keep up with co-workers, leading to unnecessary spending. Nobody actually cares. Instead of saving and investing, they're trapped in this paycheck to paycheck survival mode, which again equals death. Number 3 is time to build wealth for freedom. A 9-to-5 worker is too tired after work. How many times have you done that? You wake up at 7, you drive to work, maybe you're there by 8, 9 o'clock whenever you start. By the time you get home, it's probably 7. The actual 9-to-5 is probably like 7 to 7 by the time you wake up, dress, shower, etc. There's no time to hustle or research cryptocurrency coins. So you have to understand that. You have to put in the time and effort. Now just imagine if you lived way beyond your means and you had spare income to invest in cryptocurrency. You would have unlimited confidence, because it wouldn't matter if you've got a stupid high mortgage bill, you got this car loan, you got this credit card debt, you got to pay off the student loans. It would be a much more freer way. But again, most people don't want to do this. The problem with most investors is they have to make their 100x shitcoin work, or it's game over. They're too busy working for somebody else's dream instead of their own. Many workers put their faith in retirement ones, 401k, pensions, but inflation, by the time it's to cash them out when they're old, again, there's nothing wrong with these, schemes, etc. that you guys have in UK and USA. But again, I don't want to be 70 and rich. I'm sorry. Now, number 4 is the illusion of stability. Many workers believe they have to have a job for securities, but in reality, companies lay off employees all the time to cut costs during economic downturns. And this is only going to get worse. We've seen that with the C19. We've seen that with most, jobs being replaced by robots. And guess what? We're only going to see that going forward. So now is the time to take full responsibility and not blame anybody else. Jobs don't guarantee you financial freedom. They just guarantee you survival. The longer somebody works, the harder it is to leave, because responsibilities pile up, family debt, etc. So if you're young right now and you don't have a family and you don't have kids, etc., expenses are going to get a lot worse. So again, you want to take advantage of this. So what's the way out? To escape the 9-to-5 trap, workers need to invest early. Stocks, real estate, crypto, whatever game you want to play them all. Be diversified. Avoid inflation lifestyle. Keep expenses low. Stop trying to keep up with the Jonases. Develop multiple income streams. That's DeFi pools, NSI account for the UK, which is good, etc. Whatever you guys are doing over your seas. Prioritize financial literacy. Understand money beyond just earning more. A job should be a stepping stone. We all have to get jobs, right? But it shouldn't be the end result. And it's not a life sentence. So again, the real key to financial freedom is owning assets, not just earning wages, and being free to go where you want, when you want. Here's the kicker, and take this very, very seriously. If you come out this game with 100k to 500k and you're working a typical 9-to-5 job and maybe you make like 30, 40, 50k after taxes and you're barely getting by, take that cash in cryptocurrency and don't chase the million, because I promise you it will get you wrecked. You can do it again in future bull runs. You are literally part of the 1% here and you've completely changed your life. Get the F out and put that money in a high interest saving account and our stablecoin pools in the bear market to accumulate more in the bear, and come back and we go again, because you win. So again, I hope that was super, super valuable. That's just my kind of extra strategy and a wake-up call to somebody out there that maybe needs to hear this. If you're looking at making 10k passively, you can check out the first link in the description, which is obviously my 10k fast track. Our goal is to get people to 10k per month in a bull run, and then obviously talk about the diversification with stablecoin pools going forward and how you can always make money. If you want to check that out, it's a free call. We've had many students make that 10 to 30k so far. Again, it's not going to be for everybody, but if you want to check that out, I would love to help you on your 10k journey per month, because again, the job is not going to save you. You have to take action and you have to know how to play this cryptocurrency bull run, so you can check that out going forward.